fight. Some people have knives. All kinds of.
He got up. Record it. You record it? I ain't catching that nigga. I ain't catching that nigga. Yo, nigga hit the freeway. It's over. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a cop. Hey, wait, somebody say they gave up. Shook. The niggas gave up. Shook. Hella mad right now. High-speed pursuit right there. There's state right there. Okay, now we got 3 on him up front. We got a whole bunch of them coming up on behind me.
Is that him?
Hopefully
he's got a gun. Get back! Get back! Get back! 20. Show me your hands! Roadway's cleared. Looks like he's veering off the road, intentionally crashing. We'll be out. He's in the water. Send EMS.
You know, but I took off running down the side of the fence, and I heard them stop in the woods there. And when I got a little closer, I could see the shirts, and I said, "Hey!" And I hollered at them, and I was right just about on the other corner there, and they were right behind those little plum trees in the woods. And when I hollered, they took off, and I even hollered, you know, "Freeze, police!" But they wasn't stopping for anybody then. But like I said, I was already on the phone with the sled. With the complex, and they were. I told her, I said, the helicopter just came over, turned him around, and she spun him around, and he came right back, and I told her, I said, bring some of the other guys into the next field below, because this is just a small block of woods. I said, you got them right here, you know, and they did. And within 5 minutes of the time I saw them, they had them on the ground. The sled agents had come in, and I took them right there where I had seen them at. They put the bloodhound on them and went straight to them, but I think the helicopter had already had them.
Well, 2 men wanted for a shooting took officers on a chase in North Philadelphia. Check it out. Chopper 6 HD over the scene as police caught up with 2 suspects in the area of Gurney and 2nd Streets. Officers say the suspects ran onto some train tracks after abandoning their Acura, but they were quickly apprehended. Officials say this all started after a reported shooting in the 200 block of West Stella Street. There they found a man shot twice in the leg. It's not clear what prompted the shooting.
Do have a suspect in custody in that shooting that happened along Huntington's West End this afternoon. And tonight, that victim is fighting for his life. Eyewitness News reporter Sean Delancey is live here in our studio, and he's been tracking these developments for us. Sean?
Well, Karen, new right now, police have released the name of the man they say pulled the trigger this afternoon during that shootout along the 1700 block of Monroe Avenue. Police have released that 22-year-old Anthony Gaston was arrested in connection with what happened today. Right now, he is charged with attempted murder. Also, we found out the name of the victim. Police say Gaston shot Raymond Eugene Thomas Jr. in the head with a rifle. Yellow crime scene tape surrounded a neighborhood on Huntington's West End Sunday afternoon. But before police got there, one woman living in the area jumped into action when she heard gunshots.
I actually got blood on me because I got the girl in the car and was holding on to her because she was screaming.
People in this neighborhood are pretty shaken up from it all. One man was seriously hurt after being hit by bullets, and his girlfriend deeply distraught.
She was trying to lay on top of the man that got shot, so I was holding on to her because it was her boyfriend.
Neighbors say two cars were chasing each other around this block on the West End at speeds reaching 50 miles per hour. That's when police say the suspect, Anthony Gaston, stopped his car, jumped out, and pulled a rifle on Raymond Eugene Thomas Jr., shooting him in the head. It's a sight that people who've lived in the area for 2 decades say they aren't used to.
It's really scary because I have grandkids that play right here where I'm standing, and this is where the cars was chasing each other. And it's scary.
Real scary. It's getting a little too close to home.
Police arrested Gaston soon after the shooting, just a few blocks away. Police took him to the station for questioning, and even with the suspect in custody, neighbors here still don't feel safe.
It was scary. It really was. It was really scary. I'd never seen anything like that.
Police say the female driver of the victim's car did shoot at Gaston with a pistol, but didn't hit anyone. She isn't facing charges at this time. Live in the studio, Sean Delancey, Eyewitness News.
There were a couple of wild and very illegal rides today in Camden and Philadelphia as 2 individuals from Macungie Township, say police, stole 2 police cruisers and led lawmen on 2 separate chases through both cities. It all came to an end in the 1100 block of Hope Street in the Northern Liberty section of Philadelphia, but not before the rogue police cruisers caused injury and damage. Let's get the facts of the story from Action News reporter John Rollins at police headquarters in Philadelphia. John.
Well, hi, Jim. The individuals involved in this are identified as 24-year-old Blake Bills and his girlfriend, 23-year-old Shayna Sykes. You say they're from Macungie up in the Lehigh County, and they have been in trouble with the law up there. Then in the last half hour, we've been told by the Camden Police Department that they have been in trouble here as early as Sunday, that they were allegedly involved in a car chase that resulted in a pursuing police car to crash. And then just today, prior to the wild ride, they allegedly tried to carjack someone else.
They're a junkie version of Bonnie and Clyde right now.
This morning's bizarre odyssey started in Camden at about 9:50. A police officer stops this Jeep and steps outside his cruiser. 2 people, identified as Bills and his girlfriend Sykes, allegedly get in the police car.
Unrelated to that car stop, 2 individuals climbed into his squad car and stole it.
15 minutes later, around 7th and Norris in North Philadelphia, police stopped the Camden car and arrest Bills, who is supposedly behind the wheel. Sykes somehow slips away, allegedly grabbing an idling Philadelphia unit, 2625.
Maybe it's the police in cover, but I said, no, she's too young. So I said, well, she's taking the police car because she went the wrong way. So I couldn't believe it.
Believe it or not, there is now a second chase going, this time through the crowded streets of Philadelphia. Police say Sykes hits several cars. Finally, in the 1100 block of Hope Street, 2625 comes to a stop, and police surround the car. This man describes the woman's demeanor to colleague Annie McCormick.
I'm not going to speculate, but she looked like she was under the influence of something. She looked very disturbed and just angry and was out of control, basically. No shoes on, her shirt looked ripped.
She just was like a wild woman, just hopped out and was running. She was barefoot. It looked like she was in black skinny pajamas and just going all out.
Jim, there was one injury in this, amazingly, not more injuries. That person who was injured was a Camden police officer. He is 49 Sekou Reed Bay. He is a 16-year veteran. He remains hospitalized tonight. He was struck by his car when the couple allegedly stole it, and he rushed away and hit him with that car. He has leg injuries. He is in the hospital, and at this point, we are not sure when he will be able to be discharged. Live at the Police Administration Building, John Rollins, Channel 6, Action News.
News. Thank you, John. More on this story. Let's switch live to 6th and Lehigh and Action News reporter Sarah Bloomquist. Sarah, as we said, a rogue police car crashed into a number of parked cars, and you've got the evidence.
I do, Jim. You can see here the debris left behind. The female suspect came zooming here down Lehigh in that stolen police car, slammed into a number of vehicles here when she reached the 600 block. Then she sped off toward Northern Liberties, where she was arrested.
This is crazy. What's going on?
Yeah, and I heard like a big boom. I was like, okay, what was that?
On busy Lehigh Avenue, people heard the commotion and came outside to see what was going on.
It was like a high-speed chase. It was like a movie or something. It's like unreal because we've never seen nothing like this before.
They saw a police car with a woman behind the wheel and Philadelphia police officers in hot pursuit.
And all I see is, like a movie out of nowhere, and she's jumping over the sidewalks, police chasing her. And I said, damn, what the hell is going on?
The stolen police car started swerving into cars parked along the side of the road, doing some serious damage.
The impact was like a boom. So once I heard that, I jumped back because I didn't know. I didn't want debris, anything to fly on me. That's when the car kept going. And there was like 4 or 5 cars after.
She went through one street, and then the police get to another, and she tried to just go all over the place, trying to not get caught.
The stolen police car kept going, leaving all the debris behind.
I'm happy nobody inside or around here got hurt, especially the kids next door, because it is a daycare. So I'm just happy, nobody got hurt.
Ambulance behind us. At this point, all the cars that were damaged have been towed. Undoubtedly part of the mountain of evidence against this couple in police custody now. Live at 6th and Lehigh in North Philadelphia, I'm Sarah Bloomquist, Channel 6 Action News.
Thank you, Sarah.
Saturday evening, Lakewood police respond to numerous 911 calls about a huge street fight.
Huge fight, shots fired. They all have huge knives.
Yes, ma'am. There were gunshots just fired up at 117th in Detroit by this big group of kids.
Bullet went in there. 3 of the shots hit Jeff Catella's car.
It came out right there.
Catellas watches the fight escalated.
One side had a couple of baseball bats. I saw a hammer. And then within 30 seconds of them shouting insults at each other, all of them just started going at it.
Lakewood police on Monday released dash camera video that shows officers arriving moments later.
What did the callers get in the group?
There were 2 cops holding up 15 kids over there, and they pulled weapons off of every single one of them. 2 guys on 15. That could have ended very badly.
It's extremely dangerous. Again, like you say, the bullet doesn't know where it's going. It's wherever it's pointed at.
The fight happened just outside the Foundry, a club that was hosting a hardcore rock festival. The club manager says their security did everything they could to keep customers inside and lock the doors.
This was an isolated incident between 2 factions of gangs. They may or may not be associated with some bands, but the matter of the fact is, this was something that was outside. It never entered the venue.
5 people were treated at local hospitals, several with stab wounds. 23 people were arrested, only 1 from Cleveland. The rest are from Toledo, Cincinnati, Youngstown, and as far away as Elkhart, Indiana.
These guys, they don't think these things through or what the final results of their actions going to be. These guys from Toledo and everywhere else came into Lakewood and thought they'd have their fight and be on their way, and little did they know that they kind of picked the wrong city to do it, I think, because we had a lot of policemen that were there very quickly, and their exit strategy wasn't very well planned out.
When Officer Maddox makes a traffic stop along Highway 62, he usually has people pull over right here. It's a safe spot, but last night's incident was anything but. Officers like Brent Maddox say there's no such thing as a routine traffic stop.
464. It was right here.
Tuesday night, Officer Maddox stopped an SUV to check for an expired tag. He was going through the normal checks of the Jeep when the driver yelled at the officer.
At first, I just felt like somebody hit me.
It turned out to be a woman on a smoke break outside a nearby warehouse. The woman came up behind Officer Maddox with scissors. He was forced to pull out his gun.
She just started coming at me, slashing the scissors.
Maddox says he made a quick decision not to shoot. A family of 4 sitting in the Jeep was in the line of fire. Instead, Maddox deployed his taser, stunning 26-year-old Jessica Lugo. Looking over the dashcam video a day later, this officer is happy to walk away from such a scary ordeal.
It's an experience, and we take it and we learn from it, and we adapt and overcome.
Sharing this story, hoping other officers will know.
Check your 6. make sure that you're aware of your surroundings and you know what's going on around you.
Well, Mary and Jason, I can tell you that now the traffic unit is here doing their investigation. But now that it's daylight, take a look behind me. This is a car that the driver hit on impact. You can barely recognize this blue car here. Now, just slightly over to the left is where that silver car is. That's the car that this driver during the pursuit was driving. Now, here's what we know. It all started around 3:24 this morning. That's when an officer tried to pull over the driver for a traffic stop. We also have chopper video for a better look right now. That traffic stop was happening at Granite Hills in Madison. Now, that driver didn't stop. He kept going, and that's when that pursuit started. The driver started heading west on Madison, crossing over Main where we are now. That's when that driver hit that parked car that you were looking at, which then hit another parked car, which is a white truck in this area as well. That driver was ejected on impact from that car, and an ambulance unit actually was driving in the area, had just dropped off a patient, tried to help that driver, but he was determined dead at the scene. As of right now, it's still undetermined what the speeds were that driver was driving, but quite an impact made here to that driver's vehicle and the car that he ended up hitting. We're still learning more details on all the details of what happened here. We'll keep you updated all morning. Alana Gomez, NBC7.
The man accused of leading police on a high-speed chase in Marathon County in a stolen vehicle says he's not guilty. 22-year-old Andrew Penrod is charged with multiple counts, including possessing meth and fleeing an officer. He had a preliminary hearing earlier today in Marathon County Court, where a judge also ruled there's enough evidence for his case to go to trial. The chase happened just more than a week ago, and dash cam released by Mosinee Police shows it all started on Old Highway 51, then moved to northbound I-39. Eventually, he exits on Business 51 near Rothschild and speeds through several neighborhoods, even driving on the wrong side of the road through yards. Finally, the chase ends when Penrod hits a tree, but he exits the vehicle and takes off. Court documents show the chase ended when Penrod surrendered to police, screaming, "Don't kill me." Penrod remains in jail on a $25,000 cash bond.
Oh my God! We showed you this video last week, a Green Bay officer punching a suspect while arresting him outside a bar. A video posted on YouTube threatens retaliation.
Green Bay Police Department, be prepared for the worst.
12 News has confirmed the FBI is now investigating the threat and what danger it may pose. It's similar to a threat Albuquerque police received last month. Days later, their website was crashed by hackers, who MATC IT security teacher Mark Miller calls attackers.
They will do things like denial of service attack, which in that case, they're using techniques to try to bring down a website so that it's no longer usable, or a server or a service of some type.
Miller says the most challenging part of internet security is trying to imagine what the hackers will try to do next. He calls anonymous an exception because most hackers are targeting cash, not making political statements.
That is the exception, but they use a lot of the same tools and a lot of the same tactics as people doing this for financial reasons.
And the Green Bay mayor says the city is taking this threat from Anonymous seriously, but he doesn't believe there are any credible threats to the city's data. MATC is staging a cyber attack simulation tomorrow night, demonstrating how to stop an attack. You can find out more on our website, WISN.com.
Warren police respond to a home invasion. A 19-year-old and a 17-year-old are home in Warren on Topfer Street. They call mom to say that a guy is trying to break in. Mom called 911. Warren police respond. A guy guy driving this white Ford Explorer flees. State troopers pick up the chase at I-696 on the east side. The chase ends here in a violent crash at East Warren and Iroquois, Detroit's east side, as the Explorer T-bones a Ford Escape. Inside the Ford Escape, 4 people, 3 adults and a 2-year-old child are injured. Their injuries non-life-threatening. Neighbors were quick to blame police for the chase.
Because that's always a tough decision. If you decide, all right, we're not going to pursue anybody anymore. Well, the bad guys learn that. So the only people that we ever catch are the honest folks. So that's not going to work for you. Now, also, you can't go out there and just chase everybody around till the wheels come off your car.
And in a startling twist, during this police chase, a trooper notices a woman in her mid-20s running out of an abandoned house crying for help.
A young female come out from an abandoned house and try to wave the trooper down. The sergeant stopped, made contact, but found out that she has just been sexually assaulted. And she gave a pretty good description of who her assaulter was. The sergeant looked through some different abandoned houses through the area and then noticed an individual that matched that description. When he saw the sergeant, he began to run on foot. The sergeant ran him down and placed him under arrest and were able to turn him over to DPD.
A wild scene, 4 injuries, including the 2-year-old child, all non-life-threatening, and the fleeing driver arrested, and an accused rapist in an unrelated case also arrested during the chase. On Detroit's east side, Ron Savage, Fox 2.
Horse in downtown Charleston. This new video shows the horse galloping at full speed with a carriage shortly before crashing into a vendor booth at the city market on Tuesday. The passengers in the carriage were slightly injured, as was the driver, who may return to work today.
Damn, they throw bottles everywhere.
Put that shit down,
yeah, that's right.
No, I want to go home, brother. Look, he says I'm there. Oh, he's pretty. I don't care. There you go. They said that rubber bullets at it. Yeah, that shit hurt, huh? You're shooting him.
Wow. Are you kidding me? He's got that on camera. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Fucked him up. He'll be beat up. He'll be fine though. Go get him. Why are they laying there? Are they waiting for something like an okay?
They should have known to have a paramedic. I was out there, guys. All right, move on. They should have known.
Another fine day in Long Beach.
Yeah, everyone can see blood. How are they going to treat him now?
I just, oh, that's really what happened. You know, I could not remember. You know, in my memory, it's a truck is coming, right? And then I could not remember exactly how it happens. And then that, you know, the video said, that's how it happens. I kind of turning like 45 degrees and hit in, you know, before it hits my vehicle.
You say you make your own luck, but I think I was a lot luckier than most that day.
April 28, 1994, photojournalist Bob Vermilio rolled up on a chaotic scene.
There were just a lot of cops running back and forth and back and forth and back and forth.
Bob only knew those cops were after two men, Ted and James Oswald, who'd killed an officer and robbed a bank. He didn't know they were heavily armed inside that van.
That's when the van started heading for me, so that's when I ran. I thought this was it. I thought we're going to catch a bullet, and this is going to be the last piece of video I ever shoot.
But the van sped past.
Still gets me when I watch it. The sound. The sound. The crash, and when the officer yells, it gets me a little bit.
Neighbors also watched in horror and awe. Nowadays, any one of these neighbors would have recorded the whole scene on their cell phone, but in 1994, that wasn't possible. Bob had shot truly exclusive video that helped countless law enforcement officers. Wisconsin's Department of Justice used it as a training tool for years, along with agencies across the country.
So to have something that much detail recorded was pretty significant.
Heartland's police chief was off duty at the time, but rushed to the hospital when he learned a fellow officer was caught in the gunfire.
Tom Demling was right behind this car right there. It's him right there. A lot of the things that we learned from that actually helped us get better in law enforcement.
Grant, thank you. We'll take a look at this cell phone video shot in Massac County. You can see several deputies on the scene backing up traffic. Sheriff says they were busy arresting two men in connection with a stolen vehicle. And now 19-year-old Cameron Olson and 21-year-old Ryan Baker are charged with possession of a stolen vehicle. Olson was also charged with running from police and resisting arrest.
Southbound, Highway 4. Junction Highway 4 and Highway 30th. Highway 4, Highway 30th. He's going to go through the stop sign here. We're going eastbound Highway 30. Eastbound Highway 30. Eastbound Highway 30 is going to be a purple Mitsubishi four-door sedan vehicle. Plate is still unknown.
Okay, Chief 142 is in a pursuit eastbound Highway 30 from Highway 4, a purple Mitsubishi.
Southbound. Southbound now. North Mulberry Street. North Mulberry Street by the co-op. North Mulberry.
Currently southbound North Mulberry Street by the co-op. Southbound North Mulberry Street by the co-op.
Charlie, I'll be on White Pole Road. I'll try to pedal on eastbound and try to get in here. Southbound on North Cedar Street. Southbound North Cedar Street.
North Cedar Street. Southbound on North Cedar Street.
Suspects going over 100 miles an hour residential area. District 43.
The vehicle's going over 100 miles an hour in that residential area.
Continuing on North Cedar. Reaching speeds at over 110 miles an hour. Went through the stop sign.
Vehicle's continuing southbound over 100 miles an hour. Also went through the stop sign.
Eastbound East Russell. Westbound East Russell. Westbound East Russell. I've lost eyesight with him at this point.
Okay, westbound or eastbound?
Westbound on Russell Street.
Northwest Russell. Westbound on East Russell.
I've lost eyesight. I don't know where he went at this point.
Okay.
Negative. I was going to add that there might be one or two suspects in that vehicle as well.
I didn't get a description of that vehicle or that 28.